Hi, I'm Ron Lummus and welcome to Ron Lummus Racing. For 30 years, Ron Lummus Racing has been building some of the fastest parts in the industry, and that's why we call it home of the world's fastest VWs. And now you're going to take a tour through my shop and just a little glimpses of what my guys do on a daily basis, from windows to control arms to chassis to brakes. We make a whole list of products that you may not be aware of, but I hope after this time that you spend with us, you'll be better equipped to ask the right questions, because we try always to have all the right answers. We've been building a lot of things over here, from the suspension arms that we've recently put together, the new beams that we're putting together. In the industry, what's been going on is all of the cores are running out. All of the stock parts are drying up, and so we're having to go to make everything from scratch. So from IRS arms that bolt on to your normal car, to 3-inch narrowed arms that bolt on to your drag race car, 2 and 3 and 4-inch narrowed beams for king and link pin and for ball joint, so that the guy who's the enthusiast, the guy who wants to go out and tear it up on the weekends, can have a nice car so the wheels can fit. We also make brakes, disc brakes. Recently, RLR acquired the window program from Worksburg. We upgraded it and we've made a lot of, should I say, improvements on the original design. JM did a great job, but we've taken it to the next level. You can now purchase hard coat windows from RLR. My focus right now is on getting our full service shop, our full service website up, so that you can get my parts, the Ron Lummus Racing parts, RLR parts, anytime that you want. You just have to click on and just go. And when you get on my site, I hope that if you look and you don't see something, that if you want us to make it, then you can just send us a message and we'll be happy to make that for you. Some of the parts that have really blossomed lately have been some of the IRS control arms that we've made for the rear. We make those both for pan cars and for chassis cars, because in the industry we've gotten away from swing axle transmissions, and a lot of guys have upgraded to either Mendiolas or bus boxes. So we've made those transmissions and those popular things available for the cars. That means that we had to make arms out of 4130 chromoly, TIG welded, and make them in the right way so that the wheel offsets and the camber changes can all be zero. We've tried to maintain a zero stance wheelbase for all the cars and as little camber change as possible, so that you can buy and purchase and bolt on arms for your car that are already narrowed and have the proper stance. The strange shocks that we sell. In the past, we've used different kinds of shocks. We tried QA1 and we had great success with QA1, and we were able to get the valvings that we needed for the back and also for the front of the car. We were able to get a 50-50 valving for the rear, and we were able to get a 90-10 valving for the front. After running these shocks for a while, we decided that we needed a little bit of an upgrade. So I approached my Strange Engineering shock engineer and I sent him the best that we had. And after he took a look at the shocks, he created some valving for us with those shocks, both single and double adjustables, so that we could get the proper control in the rear suspension of the car. So if you have a pan car, we have tube shocks that meet that need, 50-50. We can have either a single or a double knob shock, so the single knob controls both directions simultaneously, which is very important, because a lot of shocks, when you click the knob, it only changes either the compression or the rebound. Very few shocks actually control both. These shocks actually control both ways with one knob. That's the 50-50 single knob. The dual knob, or the double adjustable shock, you can do the same valving, but you can separately control the extension and the compression of the shock. That makes it a very valuable tuning tool for a guy. Even if you have a street car and you want the ultimate in control, you'd be surprised at how the click of a knob changes the ride of the car. It's very awesome. Also, in the front of the car, we came up with a valving that works really good based upon some of the earlier valvings, only improved for the 90-10 shocks. Now, on those 90-10 shocks, we have them for kingpin and for ball joint cars. And we have them so that you can run them with drop spindles or no drop spindles. And with the shocks, they have a single knob. I tried dual adjustable, but at the end of the day, the singles work the best, so I just am concentrating on a single knob 90-10 front shock. Now on that shock, it controls mostly, for the most part, the separation of the shock. So you have a 90-10 shock, and then it goes 90-10, 80-20, 70-30. It changes the click on the separation of the shock. That's not exactly totally correct, but it's very close to explaining how the shocks work. I just want to thank you for coming to RLR today to see what we do on a daily basis. And of course, all that you could see would still not be enough. I would need a whole week probably to explain all that we do. But I'm glad you came today. You know, one of the things that I've realized after all these years is that there's a certain amount of people that are coming back into the industry. I call them the 2.0 guys. They were the guys that 20, 30 years ago, when they were young, had cars that were pretty cool back then. But now after all of this time, after kids, after sports, after all these things, they come back to the industry and they don't want to buy a Hellcat, or they don't want to buy a new Challenger, they don't want to buy a Vet. They want to build the car that they always had in their mind, but they could never build. And I call those the 2.0 guys. They're coming back and they want nice cars. They want fast cars. They want cars that'll stop. They want cars that are safe. They want cars that they don't have to climb under and work on every weekend. Those are the 2.0 guys. And I can tell you from my end of things that we're busier now than we've ever been. And I can tell you also that the customers are very good and they want what they want, and they really don't mind paying for good products. So my encouragement to everyone out there who's in business that does it day in and day out, don't sell yourself short. Sell quality. Sell quality. Sell quality. You need to get paid for the work that you do, and you need to make nice parts. If you can do that, you'll still be in business in 30 years.